2 of spreadsheets, and I hope everything was clear and that you were able to practice with the instructions that are given in the workbook, and that everything was okay for you. Today we go to page 13 of the ICT grade 9 English workbook and start with activity 2.3. So this is a continuation of the earlier lesson. Activity 2.3 says find total collection during the weekend from each child. So in spreadsheets, formulas are used in calculations, so you know that. The equal symbol is used before any formula. You know that. In a formula, cell name instead of cell contents is used. So basically, when you create a formula, you saw last time that we use the cell name like C1, G1, like that, instead of the cell contents. And then we did discuss about symbols such as plus, minus, multiply, divide on keyboard, which are used in calculation between cells. So also you saw that the result is displayed by clicking the enter key after each formula. So that much you are now aware of. So we go back to the worksheet. It says in cell E1 type total. So E1 we have already typed total, and then click E2 cell, which is in front of the name of the first student. Type the formula below in the cell and click enter. So equals C2 plus D2. Now we did this earlier, but let's refresh and let's do that again. So in cell E2 we have to type in the formula below equal C1 plus C2 plus D2 and enter. So there we have the total for Sugat, and you know how to fill the rest of the cells by copying the formula. So now here they give like again how to do it. Step 1, click the cell with the total already obtained. Step 2, move the mouse pointer to the right hand side corner at the bottom of the square. A small cross known as fill handle will be displayed now, and you sort of click the mouse on the fill handle, keeping the mouse clicked, drag down the cell so that you select up to E16, the last student, and then release. Step 4, then the total of each student will be obtained separately. So method 2 is also given by using copy and paste. What you need to do is you need to practice both these methods. You will obviously be good at both, I hope, but sometimes you might prefer one of these methods than the other. So it's okay if you prefer one method to the other, just continue to use that method. But keep in the back of your mind that there is another method. So should ever a question come uh, asking for the methods available, then you are able to explain. Now activity 2.4, find balance after deducting rupees 50 from each student. Step 1. In cell F1 type printing, in cell G1 type balance, in column F, the cell after printing, type 50, use the fill handle to cover the rest of the list. So that's how we got this. I've already filled that up. So we have the rupees 50 value here. Then step 2, click mouse on cell G2, type the formula given below and press enter. Equal E2 minus F2. Okay, so let's do that. I've already done it. Let me show you the formula there. I've already done that, but let's delete that and we say equal E2 minus F2 and we hit enter, and then rupees 50 deducted from rupees 590 is rupees 540, so that's correct. Then what we do is we use the fill handle to fill up the rest of the cells, and the figures would basically be the same as given in the workbook. So we have done that now. Then what we do is they're asking us under step 3 to find the balance for other students. Use the fill handle or copy and paste methods, and then save the file after each activity. In the old days, it was really vital that you save the files on your PC. Nowadays, like, they have introduced systems where the program would automatically save up at certain points when you're working. So in the past, I've seen situations where a person would spend hours on an Excel worksheet, and then due to some issue they would lose the data that they were saving on, or rather entering onto it, because they didn't save it. So thankfully those times are generally behind us. So we go to activity 2.5 now. 2.5 says, let us format the worksheet. Some formatting have been done to the above document. They are as follows. So they are going to explain about the formatting that they have done. There is a border around the cells. Select cell range to add border by clicking the mouse from A1 cell to A16 cell. So A1 is here and A16 is here. In menu under Home ribbon, click the borders and select all borders. So this is borders, and then we're asked to select all borders. So we did that. Then the cells are colored to make them clearer. Use the mouse to select the cell range to add colors. In menu under home, click on fill color to select suitable colors. So now these are the icons that you have to look at. Obviously some spreadsheets would have slightly different icons, so you have to be aware of those and what they do if you're working with them. Now the fill color, let's say if this was white, I filled it with white because it was yellow, and now I'm going to select yellow as the fill color. So we have that. Then what we do is boldface headings. Select headings in menu. Under home, click on B. So the headings are all in bold. Otherwise it would have been like this. When we click bold type, everything becomes bold. Data and information in the cells are aligned. To align, select cell range for alignment using the mouse. So we are being asked to select the cell range for alignment. Let's say I want to select the entire table. I select it like this, and then alignment, I will select middle align. Now if I select text alignment to center, that is what happens. If I select right alignment, it's like this. If I select left alignment, it's like this. So let us go back to the earlier version. That's how you do cell alignment. Use the number format to show the data as currency unit. Select the cell range for number formatting and use using the mouse. In menu under home, click on the tool General and select currency. At the end of each action, of course, save the document. And then there is this note. If the currency unit is not in rupees, follow the steps given below, and it gives you a way to navigate and change the currency symbol. Now we have all of these values that have already been formatted as currency. Okay, so if I put number, then you can see that the currency, the rupees letters disappear. If I put currency, then it came back with the dollar sign. Now what I need to do is I have to go to more number formats. Now here is the sample of what's there on the Excel sheet. Decimal places are 2 and the symbol is the dollar sign, but I need to change it to rupees. So I go through this and I look for rupees, RS, because we're used to using RS, even though it's the wrong type of currency, because here there is rupees Pakistan, Arabic, and rupees Tamil Sri Lanka. I don't know how they came about that, but okay, let's use rupees Tamil Sri Lanka. So there we go. We have the currency sorted out as they suggest. And then in the same activity 2.5, They say create a new worksheet. End of page 16 in the workbook. Create a new worksheet. Obtain a new worksheet and create the following document. Use formula for calculations. Do the necessary formatting. Okay. So ABC stationery stock information. Now what I did was I created this earlier. Let's see if it is this one. Yeah, ABC stationery stock information. I didn't do the formatting with colors and everything. I just entered the figures and copied the table that they have given into a new worksheet. So here they give the formulas for the calculation. Balance equals stock minus sold. So that's equals C3 minus D3 equals C3 minus D3, and that's the balance. Total equals balance plus replacement 1. So that's equals E3 plus F3 equals E3 plus F3. Number of packets equals total divided by packeted. So that's equals G3 divided by H3. G3 divided by H3. And grand total number of packets multiplied by packets per week, so that's equals I3 multiplied by J3. I3 multiplied by J3. I hope this is clear when you're looking at it on YouTube. Hopefully it's clear enough. And the tools for formatting: boldface, alignment, adding colors to cell range, using borders, inserting a row above the worksheet, data and information are center aligned, inserting row, column and merge and center. Click the right mouse button on column row, click insert, enter row. In the new row obtained on the top, type the text you want to click, merge and center. So I believe they're talking about this. What I did was I just typed in the same text there when I began, so we don't really have to insert another row, but let's see, let's do that anyway. We click on the row, insert rows, and there we go. We get a fresh new row above. Now here you can see that ABC stationery stock information is, even though everything is visible, it's all in the first A2 cell. There's no text in the B2 cell. Now what if I go and click type something there? See that? Only part of the A2 cell becomes visible and the remainder goes under. So what we need to do is, and what the workbook talks about, is using merge and center. Now this is the icon for merging and centering. What that does is, now merge icon is here. Now let's say we want to create a nice table and put everything together and align it so that even like later on if something happens, none of the text sort of go out of place. So we select the entire set of cells where we want to have the title placed, and then we click merge. Did you see what happened? The cells all combined into one, or rather merged into one. So that's the term merging. They come together as one cell, and now when I select a different cell somewhere else, and you can see that that is one single cell in between the other cells. So that's a pretty useful menu item. This tool enables merge two or more cells and center align the entire data. So we saw how that happened. Okay, now activity 2.6. Let us create a mark sheet. Okay, so there is a mark sheet. There are names of 10 students and maximum marks, minimum marks. Let's see. Here we go. So I already created the mark sheet. You can see like it's not exactly the same like the mark sheet in the workbook. Here the text has been aligned. So boldface letters and numbers. Mark sheet 2018. So let's see. Mark sheet. We select all the cells and we merge and center, and then we say bold. What do we do next? Number, name, subjects 1 through 5, total, average. So these are, now if I want to do this, I'm just going to drag, or rather increase the height of the cell, and then I'm going to highlight all of these and then we have to align the cells. So what do we do? We go to orientation and change the direction of the cells. Now let's see. So the alignment where is orientation? Orientation. Nope. Okay, so looks like I'm stuck and not being able to find the orientation option. Let me quickly see whether I can find out where the text orientation is. So we go to home, we go to draw, nope. Oh, this is interesting. Oh yeah, so Excel 365 doesn't have a text orientation option. I think when we began these lessons, I think we looked for it but couldn't find it. So according to online help, we go to so we're supposed to select a cell and then select the format option. unless did I do something wrong when creating this? Go to number formats. No, I'm sorry, this doesn't seem to be there on Office 365. There was a workaround, but that also doesn't seem to work. So we'll let this be for the moment rather than spending more time on this. So move on to the next one. So they say before orientation, space between columns and rows need to be increased. So we did that. Now this is the orientation icon. As you can see, that particular icon is not to be found. Yeah, so that's not to be found there. Change the name of the worksheet to Marksheet. So we have to rename the worksheet as Marksheet. I believe, like, if you're using the desktop version of Office, you should have that and you'll be able to do it. I'm sorry that we wasted a little bit of time. I sort of forgot that we couldn't find this tool earlier. So save the created workbook as first term marks 1 and close the workbook. So you could rename your workbook as first term marks 1 and close the workbook. So we go to File, Save as, rename first term marks 1, and there we go. It shows first term marks 1. Then we go to activity 2.7, using functions is the title, and it says to calculate the values in a range of cells, functions are used. After the equal symbol to begin a formula, the function is included. Then the cell range is included within brackets. To indicate that it is a cell range, the names of the first cell and the last cell are written within the symbols within, and the symbol is given here, colon. Let us identify a few such functions. So the sum and average function you are familiar with. Now we have another one, the count function and the count a function. So to calculate the total sum in the cell range, sum first cell, last cell. So to calculate the total number is sum, and from C3 to G3. That's how we got this figure. I'm not going to sort of do this again. I've already created the table, and I'll walk through the formula. I'll walk through the functions to find the average in a cell range. It says equal sign average for cell and last cell. So here we go. The marks are from C3 to G3. Now remember, you shouldn't put H3 into this. So we add up all the marks and take the average using this formula. To count the cells with the numbers only, so equal count first cell, last cell. So where do we use that? Here it has number of present students. So what we do is we go from C2, and it should be C3, to C12, and we take the count. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 students who are available. So that's where we use the count option. It sort of drops the cells where it says AB when taking the count. So there is out of 10 there are 2 absent people here in for subject 2, so that's 8. Everyone is there for subject 4, so there is 10, and there are 4 students who are not there for subject 5, so we get the figure 6. And number of students in class, to count cells with data in a cell range, count A. So it checks each cell for data. So when we look at that, we get 10. There are 10 students, so obviously all of these have to be 10. So that's where you use the count A to take the number of students through that function. Let us use the relevant functions in the worksheet created above. Open Marksheet 1 that you created and saved earlier. Use the following functions. Complete Marksheet 1. So they're asking us to go back to the Marksheet 1. Use the following functions. Complete the Marksheet 1. So I have already done that. So we get how to sum, average, the max, the minimum, count, and count A. So then save the preset file in a different name, select file, save as, give a location, and then save it as first term mark 2. Then we go into sorting. Sorting data according to total marks obtained. Sorting data in the alphabetical order, A to Z, Z to A. So here, if we are to sort according to the total marks obtained, this is what we need to sort under. So you have the highest first, that is, see, number 1 has gone to the bottom, number 3 has gone to the top. Data can be sorted according to our requirement. First, the cell range needs to be selected. Select all cells in the range, leaving out only the cells with the titles. Next, click the sort filter in the home menu. So now we have, take a look at this, okay? The number and the names are on this side like this, but we have to sort according to from the highest to the lowest. So sort ascending. Okay, so why did that not work? Okay, so what happens is this. Now when you go to sort, put it back to the way it was. When you go and say sort, we found some data next to your selection. So that is all the data that's surrounding this column. Do you want to expand what's selected and then sort? So when you sort it, all the remainder has to also change, because when the lowest figure goes to the bottom, the corresponding student's name also has to go to the proper place. So there we go. So we have the lowest, sorry, we should have sort descending. So when we sort descending, the highest numbers are right on top and it descends down to the lowest number total. There we go. So Gayani has taken the highest number of marks. That's how we use sort. Activity 2.9 wants us to go back to the earlier table. Open the document collection created in activity 2.2. Using the information in this document, select the required cell range to create graphs. Okay, so looks like we are going to have to create a graph. Let us go back to the earlier table. We can, so the first graph, weekend collection of each child is shown in a column graph. So we have to Now looking at this graph, you can sort of see the names are here and the amounts are on this side. So what we need to do is Saturday and Sunday are there. So let's see what happens when we select with the titles and then go to insert column and use a clustered column. Okay, there we go. So just like in the example, we have the amounts and the names, and the amounts are shown in columns. Select the cell range by clicking the mouse on B2 D16. We took the column graph and select the suitable graph list and click on it. Graphs are always created on the worksheet in which the relevant information is available. Therefore, the graphs have to be taken to chart sheets. Follow the steps given below for that. Click on graph created in the worksheet. Click on Move Chart Location in the Design ribbon. So we click it. We click the chart. And there should be a Move Chart Location. Okay, so seems like we are going back to the same issue where that particular option doesn't seem to be there. Graphs are always created on the worksheet in which the relevant information is available. Therefore, the graphs have to be taken to chart sheets. Follow the steps given below for that. Okay, so it's basically to move the chart to a different location. So although this is not what's given on the given in the booklet, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say copy, then I'm going to go into a different worksheet and I'm going to paste. So there we go. The chart has been moved using copy and paste instead of going through all of this. So I believe what they have done is they have made the process simpler. And then they also say to add the title to the graph in the design ribbon, use quick layout, select change colors to add colors to the graph. So we can change the title, we can format the colors, we can use a brighter color, that's too bright, something like that. So we can change it in the way that we want. And then graph 2, the graph below, okay, so it's sometimes a bit difficult when you come across words like this. The graph below with 1L shows the collection of each child as a percentage in a pie chart. So now how do we get that? Let us create the pie chart. The cell range for pie chart is the cell range of names B2, B16 and the total E2, E16. These cell ranges are not adjoining. Let us select the cell ranges first. So step 1, select cell range B2 to B16 with the names of the children. Pressing the Control key on the keyboard, select the cell range for totals E2 to E16. So now what they're saying is, because now we have to take the names, we highlight that, and while pressing Control, we select the total, and then we go to Insert and select Pie Chart. So there are two types. There's the 2D pie chart and the donut. So we'll go for the 2D pie chart. Did they say that I am to take the total or the balance? They said total. So that's with the ₹50 included. Select the suitable graph, take graph to another graph sheet, do the necessary formatting. So we copy this, we go to the earlier sheet and we paste it. Now there we get the values. That is not what we are supposed to get. So here they say the graph below shows the collection of each child as a percentage in the pie chart. So now here we don't have the percentage. So what do we do? Now we could go back why would they say to show the percentage? So we selected the cell ranges B2 to B16. So we go back to this and what we have B2 to B16. Now I have selected the name also. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to delete this chart and then I'm going to re-select. Oops. It's not always easy working without a mouse. And then I go to insert. I drop down the list, select the pie chart, yeah. So now, even though they say that okay, so there is no option to get the percentage to be displayed there. I'll have to look at that, and maybe on the next lesson I'll figure out how to do that and show it to you. So for today we have that part remaining, and then we go to activity 210, which is the last activity in this exercise. Create graphs using other information in the table. Before creating graphs using information in first term marks 2, enter marks for absent students as well. So they're saying before creating graphs using the information you have to enter marks. So what would the marks be for absent students? That's going to be 0. So that is the end. So this I'm not going to do. I hope you'll be able to take some time and do this last activity by yourself. And I'm sorry that some of the lesson contents are unavailable in my version of the spreadsheet. I hope that what I do have is helpful to you. Thank you for joining me, and hope you were able to learn something new. Take care, and see you next time. Bye for now.